So I'm here actually doing the dishes for the Washing Up Chronicles. My kids are playing outside, you can see them and you can definitely hear them. So I thought I would take the opportunity to do the last of the Washing Up Chronicles. I'm thinking that maybe once a month I'll do something very similar, so don't worry, you can hear me ramble on, and plenty of other opportunities. But yeah, I've recorded this video lots and lots of times. I've even edited a video and sent it off to be checked and then decided nope, because honestly, I feel like I say honestly or to be honest a lot in these videos. It feels incredibly flippant to be talking about the ups and downs of my home ed week when there are traumas and tragedies happening all over the world. It's not like this is a new thing that that families are experiencing war and fear and tragedy. Like, I know that that's not a new thing, but obviously the news right now about Ukraine and seeing what's going on is a stark reminder of how privileged I am that my kids can be playing outside right now, and I'm not scanning the skies wondering whether we need to race to the basement, wondering whether we split up as a family or stay together. Like, I can't imagine having to deal with all of those things. And so to talk about the ups and downs of my week seemed, like I said, a bit flippant. I have spoke to my children about the Ukraine situation. Every family is different and will decide to do it in different ways, but for us it's very normal to talk about what's going on in the world, especially if it's things that we personally are processing or thinking about. And I'll be honest, saying it to my kids to begin with, just talking about it, getting a map open and talking about what was going on was heavy, but it felt fairly straightforward. What was hard was when they came back with questions or comments, and later in the week kind of processing some of those things together. That's when it was hard. One of my kids, after I mentioned about it, said it's a good job that soldiers don't have boats because then they can't come over to us. And so those responses, they were the difficult things. Thinking through what to say in the first place, like I said, was heavy but not complicated, but blimey, those responses. So yeah, consider that not an up or down, but a really important part of our week, and the fact that I get to talk to my kids about that, I get to process it with them. They get to see me processing difficult things. That's really powerful. Another important thing in our week this week was really thinking through why we do what we do. And I sat last weekend and really thought about what I hope for my kids, that I hope that they are people that enact change and that they're people that are full of compassion, and then how what I do in my home ed, what I might teach them, what I might introduce to them, where the places I might take them, how that works towards that. You okay? Yeah. Okay. All right. And that was really significant for me because some of the things that I find really, really boring about home ed, the kind of core skills, the things that, those things that you're like, oh, I should do this, but we've kind of haven't managed to fit it in today, oops, like those things I really reflected on how important they were, that if I want my kids to be able to help refugees, either now or when they're older, then there are core skills, got bubbles on my face, core skills that are really, really important for that. And I don't want my kids to have, I don't want to be the one responsible for my kids having barriers that stop them being able to help other people. Does that make sense? So that felt like a significant turning point in my mindset of home ed. And has it made massive differences in how our days have gone? Not really, but is it definitely it's made me have more value to the things that we are doing that might seem a bit tedious and insignificant. And it also has helped me be more intentional with my kids. Another thing that was important this week was seeing the value of being involved in the community and in non-home ed community. I love home educators. They're my people. I like them a lot, and I wouldn't want to not meet with them. But it's been really lovely to get more and more involved in worlds and communities that have nothing to do with home ed, because my kids get to meet and help and be helped by just a wide variety of people. And that's something that when I see the positives in that, so for example, just like silly, I mean, they sound like silly things, but I don't think they are. Like walking along the street and they're like, oh, there's so-and-so, and giving a wave and a hello and stopping and chatting, and just people that honestly we wouldn't meet if we were going to home ed communities, and them being able to stop and say hello, and I don't know, like it probably doesn't sound as significant as it feels, but that has been real positive to me this week, and again helped me feel like we're on the right direction. The fourth thing that has been, I keep getting bubbles in my face. The fourth thing that has been really helpful this week is something that have just started doing. So I love social media, I love the connections on there, and one of those connections has now led to me and another home editor across the world being accountability partners, I guess, that we just quickly share goals that we want to get done for the week, because both of us were kind of saying how we find it hard to be consistent, and then we check in on each other, and that has been I mean, it's only been a week, but it feels really helpful to just focus on things. And I didn't meet any of my goals, but that was really significant in itself, because I could reflect on why and were they actually important things that I was trying to achieve. So if you haven't done that, then do it. It's great. From my week's experience, I can say that. I don't know, there's something that it seems weird sometimes in real life too. Social media is real life. I don't like that distinction, but you know what I mean. To go up in person to someone and say, like, hey, do you want to chat every week about where we're messing up in our home ed life and how we can do better? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It seems strange. But to do it over social media felt very normal, and that, I guess, is how I would end this Washing Up Chronicles. Is I've had to be a little bit brave. I know that sometimes these things don't seem particularly insignificant to you, but to chat each week about how our week has gone is a little bit of a brave step, and talking to other home educators about how we're doing, it takes bravery. This whole home ed life takes a lot of bravery, so I guess if I could encourage us to do one thing, it would be to just be brave this week, to ask that person to check in on you with some home ed goals, to try something different, to talk to our kids about difficult things, to just be brave and maybe be the first one to do that. So yeah, this is it. I don't have anything profound or insightful to say, except it's been a pleasure talking to you each week. I have not got any better at doing any of the chores in my house. In fact, slightly worse, as you can tell from the mess behind me. But that sound does not sound good. I'm going to go and check and see what that crashing sound was. But I will talk to you soon, and I'll see you in some of the videos as well. Take care and have a good week. Bye.